making our way to Frank's house for the Zeppelin movie.
Welcome to my friend Frank's drum room of the decade. I think this acoustically is probably exactly like Heather Grange. Not necessarily the hallway that they did when the levee breaks, and I think Misty Mountain now. But the main living room, I think, where they recorded most of the other stuff they did for Physical Graffiti, and anything that also might have been on Zeppelin 4. Possibly Zeppelin 3. So this is it, okay? Here we are. This is the room. I'll get a little panoramic for you.
Here are the hard oak wooden floors. That's where we'll put the drums in. You'll see that the walls aren't necessarily fully square. There's symmetry to the walls, but we do have some non-symmetry to the walls. Okay, so I have the drums parallel to one corner, which I believe is important. From this position, the 130 on the clock, okay? So we'll pick up more cymbals on this side, but also we're picking up, and EQing is important too. They will EQ out per frame of reference. You can get out frequencies you don't like, but generally, and remember, this is the most live sound that I'm going to get out of these guys, okay? I don't have any muffling really on anything. I have the snare muffler on a bit, okay? Exactly 20 inches now in front of the bass drum. Okay, now remember, the microphone on here is not a large diaphragm dynamic mic. Also true, this bass drum is wide open. Okay, it's not muffled. But listen to the wallop, okay? Oh, there's a teensy bit of muffling on the inside, but it's not really doing anything here. But listen to this. Live time, I'm going to muffle very slightly that bass drum, okay, in real time. Now check this out. When we slightly muffle this bass drum, I'm going to do it on the batter side for now, okay? Just off to the side here. Remember, it's not important like what I'm using, what rag or whatever. It's just slightly muffled, okay? You'll still get the air move, but without sort of the awkward, like, you know, it just kills it a little. Now listen. Hear that? Versus, okay, that cannon thing kind of sounds good in the room, but not up close, but just a little. Okay, so now you have sort of like the Since I've Been Loving You bass drum, which you hear on most Zeppelin. Bonham did muffle this bass drum, okay? It's my opinion, but listen to this. Okay, here we go. When they tracked, with the exception of maybe like some of the heavy grain stuff you hear on Physical Graffiti, which is really open. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do here, there's two more positions. this angle, okay? I'm off that, what would be, remember, if that's 12, I'm at right now about 430. This is a very good position, literally just like this, okay? We're gonna do an overhead, like I said, just over my head by probably about 12 inches above my head. But this is a good one too. You get a great snare and tom sound, as well as the cymbals come in this way. Remember, the cymbals will come, you want the sound to come, if this is the disc, you want it to come this way, not overhead so much for the cymbals, really at all. You get sort of a, you don't really get an optimal sound. Okay, so here we are. Now do you hear that? Remember, I'm making this video on a short time frame, so any mistakes I do are going to be in there. Again, this is very slight muffling on the batter head of the bass drum. Just a little bit. Look what I did here. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. See that? It's just touching. Do you hear that sound? Listen to the air that moves. It's like a thump or a wallop. It's not like an 18-inch deep bass drum like boom. It's like a whomp, whomp, whomp. Okay? So my friend Frank will assist when the time comes to do a straight overhead again, which I would then rely on for really just the toms. Okay, we'll EQ that a little more for the toms, maybe a little of the wallop of the bass drum. And again, like I said, I do believe that underneath the snare and Bonham anyway, it's important in general just to have a snare under there, really to pick up the snare wire, the delicate part of the snare versus the tom-tommy part of the top. Okay, so crunch. And really you got, with this drum sound in this room, forgive me, you get, especially like the sound you hear on, see how easy you can just really slap this on here, okay? It's not high tech, okay? What the hell is it? In my time of dying. So that's really where you get, especially on In My Time of Dying, that's where you really get a big room sound there. Okay? I mean, it's a big sound. If you've heard me play my drums in the basement, it's a small 20, 12, 14. The sound here, again, the room sound, a live sound is very much like an effects pedal for an electric guitar. You don't stick an SM57 up in front of just the strings of an electric guitar and then mess with the sound. No, it runs through pickups, it goes through, people have distortion boxes and all kinds of things. It's the same thing here. The drums, it's like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. You wouldn't record each person individually in a dead studio, put them all together, and then put a reverb on. No, you put them in a live room and you get the sound. Same with the drums here. And there's, before Frank comes in, I need Frank. But check, I've noticed that the crossover fill I've forgotten that it's actually easier to play on a 26 because it puts the rack tom up higher, at least for me. So the smacking the arm with the left hand is less likely. Again, you'll find the B8 sounds really good in an environment like this, okay? Franklin! Franklin! Alrighty. Here's the overhead, okay? This right now is about 12 inches above my head. You see right here over the ball, the main shite. Right, Franklin?
Yes.
You got it, baby. Now listen to the snare. Now I have a control dot on here. It came that way, but this, from where I'm sitting, very much approximate the sound of the original 2-ply ambassadors they used to have. They're not 2-ply anymore. Right? What's that sound like, Frank? Loud! Okay, so here, let's just play a little crunge again. So, if you I'm just going to play a beat then. Right, Franklin? Okay, here we go.
Go.
That was recorded with 2 microphones much higher, but I just thought I'd play that here. Frank, what else should I play in Zeppelinburg?
Oh, shit.
Now that was really rusty though. I haven't played that for a long time. Hang on. Okay, so that's overhead, okay? Alright, so we're gonna close it out. Frank, let's close it out with the freak out all around. I'm gonna swap out the reissue giant bait.
That's a cool song. You just get that?
I've had it since the dawn of time, but I just rarely play it. So here's an original giant beat. There you go. All right. Let's hear that guy. Think about it. That's real no chordy, right? No quarter-y. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I hit my hand on that hi-hat one more time. Look at it.
Fantastico!
Thank you.